Hello and welcome to the December 22nd, 2024 episode of Nick's News. I am your host, Nick. Brought to you by Some Budget Studios. That's right, we're finally putting some money into this project of ours. We're live every Sunday, and I thank you all so much for tuning in or catching the replay on the Facebook page or the Nick's News YouTube page. That's right, we are simulcasting between Facebook and YouTube. Hooray! This is a program dedicated to bringing good news to counter all of the bad news that we are bombarded with on a daily basis with the hope of bringing a little bit of joy back into the world. Several of our articles are pulled from sites like goodnewsnetwork.org and goodgoodgood.co, but we appreciate everything that is sent in by you, the viewers. So, this is going to be a special episode. This is going to be a who's who of past articles that we had throughout the year and the follow-ups that producer Donna has been able to track down and find for us. So we'd like to share all of these with you in the spirit of the season. These are going to be our gifts to you. And yes, I bought this just for this episode. I actually went out and did the last bit of Christmas shopping I needed to do, just wrapping paper and bags and labels, and I saw this hat, and I'm like, I don't have one of those hats. I'm going to buy that hat. So, in the spirit of the season, I hope you all enjoy. First comment from Eliza in the Facebook chat. It is pretty cozy. My head's getting a little warm with it on. It's pretty slick, though. I do apologize. I have a little bit of a head cold, so I probably sound atrocious, but we're going to get through this as best we can. And with that, we are going to get into our news brew. This tiny little adorable can called FSBC 10. This is from Fair State Brewing Cooperative. Fair State Brewing Cooperative. This is a 12.5% ABV Imperial Stout. It's brewed with 100 gallons of Wisconsin's finest maple syrup, 4 types of vanilla beans. It's got more boiling time than a month's worth of IPAs, and FSBC put a decade of lessons learned into brewing this beer. This is their 10th year anniversary brew. So happy 10th anniversary to Fair State Brewing Cooperative. Cheers. Producer Donna calling me out kind of in the Facebook chat. Adorable, and I'm surprised it's not purple. I couldn't find a purple one in time. If I thought I'm going to do this, I should have done it sooner, but I didn't. So, because it is an Imperial Stout, we are going to use our very nice snifter. Where is your cookie? Did you want me to show off the cookies that you... Julie in Facebook chat baked me a ton of fantastic cookies that I have been munching through slowly but surely. Fair State like the college. No, not Fair State. Fair State. Sorry. You said you would have a cookie with... Oh, shoot! Julie is 100% correct. I said I would have a cookie with the beer. Julie, thank you for reminding me. I totally didn't write that down for the episode. I will be right back. I've got to go get that. So hang with us just a moment. Okay, I'm back. So, Julie cooked me an amazing array of cookies. My absolute favorite, though, are snickerdoodles. So, on a little purple plate, I have grabbed a snickerdoodle that I'm going to have with this beer. Thank you again, Julie, so much for baking a batch of cookies for me. And again, I absolutely love snickerdoodles. Like, that, they are the best. So... Sorry, Donna, I should have messaged you about it. Julie correcting me. Yes, we have decided on the name Knickerdoodles because they are my cookies. So thank you again, Julie. And yeah, I'm sorry for the dead air. I'll cut that out when we do the repost on the YouTube page. So, all right. There's no way we're getting the theatrics of a 5-minute pour out of this little guy. So... Oh, now I had some amazing stouts yesterday while hanging out with some friends. But this is shaping up to be an amazing little stout. I can't even tap it with my ring. There we go. Get every last drop of this into this snifter. Woohoo! All right. Got my cookie. Got my beer. Eliza on the Facebook chat. I've had Julie's cookies. They are worth the dead air. Theatrics of a 30-second pour. Ain't that hello, Gabby in the YouTube chat? Ain't that a mood? All right. 20-second pour. I'm not sure we have enough beer for all the articles. Yeah, we are going to go through 15 updates on articles that we did in the past. And like the Cool News episode, they aren't going to be full, complete articles or updates that I'm reading. Producer Donna created a series of blurbs for me to go through that basically hit on the key points of what good news has come from those previous articles. So it's going to be great. And yeah, I probably don't have enough beer, but for the last episode of the year, I'll definitely have enough, because that's going to be a very special bottle. But, shout-outs. I'd like to do a shout-out to Orpheus Kine, who's a Twitch streamer. He's the friendliest pirate on the Sea of Thieves, so if you play the game Sea of Thieves, check out his streams. Fantastic. He does all sorts of other streams, but he also does gaming, he's a beer lover, and he's an all-around nerd extraordinaire. Join him for Sea of Thieves adventures, weekly craft beer reviews, and tabletop role-playing action. His channel is all ages, all-inclusive, and family-friendly, and there's a link in the descriptions on the Facebook and the YouTube videos to check out Orpheus Kine. So, to the friendliest pirate on the Sea of Thieves, and a man who does so much that I do that it's like, I really want to, like, hang out with this person. Cheers. Hello, Riven and Glaive in the YouTube chats. That's like maple syrup with a little bit of beer added. And a lot of booze. Wow. Dangerous things come in small cans. Holy crap. That beer's got some kick. Second shout out that we've got is a happy birthday to Nick's Newsie, Russell. Russell is a really good friend of mine. He was a little after Christmas bundle of joy and anxiety, and he's celebrating his birthday on the 26th of December. So, Russell, to you, my friend, happy birthday. Julie in the Facebook chat calling me out for playing with other pirates. I haven't actually been able to hop into a game with him. I haven't put Sea of Thieves back on. I have it on my laptop. I don't have it on the Monster yet. So this bad boy's got to have some games downloaded. The only one I have on it right now as of this recording is Stellaris. But I'm thinking about Helldivers 2, and I'm definitely thinking about Space Marine. So, yeah. So that's our shout-outs. News quote. I really like this one. Producer Donna found us this one. I feel the capacity to care is the thing which gives life its deepest significance. And that comes from Pablo Casals I Defilló, and I could be butchering that name, and if I am, I apologize. He's known in English as Pablo Casals, and he was a Spanish and Puerto Rican cellist, composer, and conductor. And I love that quote, especially for this time of year, because the biggest thing that we can give is care to people around us. So again, I feel the capacity to care is the thing which gives life its deepest significance. Thank you very much, Pablo Casals. Gabby in the YouTube chat, I haven't played Sea of Thieves in so long. I've been watching these, like I watch Orpheus Kine and a few other Twitch streamers for it, and the game looks better than ever, like as far as content goes, so it's definitely one to get back into, especially if you just like sailing around and looting islands and doing piratey things. Bug news. All right, here's some fun stuff. So Elmira is tucked in for the winter. We're not going to be seeing Elmira till probably sometime into next year when she comes out of her burrow. The last time I checked on her, because I know where her burrow is, I have to pull the whole tank out just to be able to look at her a little bit. She looks a little bigger than I remember. I don't know if she molted while she's been down there or what, but we'll see when she emerges. Sue is a chonkster. I don't know. He was out earlier while I was setting up, and he was like right in here against the glass. He might show back up, or you might see his tail as he's crawling around. I'm not sure where he's gone to yet, but he is big and might be in pre-molt. He might be getting ready to molt himself and get even bigger, so we'll see. And lastly, an update about the swarm, which is in that tank. So that used to be the home of our Chinese mantis, Madeline Pryor, and now her babies occupy it. And her babies have begun the culling. They have reached that stage in their age, a very early age, where they have become hungry. And all I can say is, there can be only one. Despite my offering of fruit flies, they have begun the great game. Who shall be the great Mantis MacLeod when it's all said and done? We will see. But they have been fighting and cannibalizing despite my best efforts. So we'll name the winner Mantis MacLeod. Gabby, survival of the best, Hunger Games style. Okay. So there can be only one from Julie. So with that, we're going to get into our good follow-up news. So our categories, man, I'm all tipsy. That's what head colds do. Our show, or our broadcast, is broken up into 4 major categories for good news, and those categories are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and wholesome notes, the really nice touchy-feely articles that get us right here in the heart. These are all going to be good follow-up news articles, and a lot of these were ones that you all sent in, so I'm really happy to be able to do that. We're going to kick it off with Category 1, Follow-Up Science and Technology. This first article I called, the first time around, Seabin Gets a Second Season. It was on our January 1st episode of 2024, and the article initially was sent in by Eliza. So Eliza, thank you very much for sending this one in. Now, the original article was taken from a local news source that doesn't archive their articles. In the description on YouTube and Facebook, we have all of the original articles, save like this one, posted. So if you want to go back and see those articles, you can. I'm going to read the little blurbs that we've got, so let's start up. In January, we featured an article about Seabin Plastics Cleanup, which is based out of Sydney, Australia. They had just been approved for a second season in Sydney's marinas and harbors. Each unit operates 365 days a year, capturing floating litter such as plastic, oils, and microplastics from the water's surface. The sea bins are equipped with a filtration system that efficiently collects waste while allowing clean water to pass through, minimizing environmental impact. The update that we have to this article is that as of today, there are 1,100 sea bins that have been deployed, and they have cleaned up a collective 4,795,176.4 kilograms of garbage collected. Now, what is that for people who have landed astronauts on the moon? Well, let's find out. A simple conversion that I didn't do beforehand will tell us what that comes out to. So, that comes out to... Wow, really? Huh. That is a whopping... Let me double check my sig figs. Really? 10,571,554.3672 pounds. Dang, that's a lot of trash. All of that cleaned up by the sea bin system. They cranked it out this year, deploying 1,100 units and just carrying all of that garbage out of the water. So to sea bin and everything they did this year, cheers. I'm going to take a bite of cookie too. Oh my God. Julie, I hadn't had these yet. This is a match made in heaven. Yes, in the Facebook chat, my Canadian producer did not convert kilograms to pounds for me beforehand. I am an engineer, though. I will do it correctly. Eliza in the Facebook chat, cleaner oceans equals cleaner Earth. That is true. Eliza, thank you very much for sending in that article initially. Next one came from Ed, and we debuted this on our July 21st episode. We called it, This Is Not Mr. Beast Clickbait. And this one had to do with Team C's The Ocean Cleanup. And Donna put in a joke, not Mr. Beast Clickbait, no really, we mean it this time. This is also an update on an article that was sent in by Travis on September 15th. So on July 16th, Mr. Beast announced that Team C's had finally completed its long-term goal, successfully removing 34,080,191 pounds of trash from oceans across the globe. In October of 2021, Mr. Beast kicked off the Team C's project, which was an endeavor designed with the goal of raising about $30 million to remove 30 million pounds of trash from the world's oceans. In January of 2022, Mr. Beast, fellow YouTuber Mark Rober, and the Team C squad revealed that they'd met their donation goal of $30 million. And now, over 2 years later, their dream of cleaning up the seas has become a reality. Now, the update we've got is while the Team C's campaign may be over, there's still updates coming from one of the partner organizations known as the Ocean Cleanup. On December 17th, they released their 2024 year-in review. The total global trash catch from oceans and rivers this year was a massive more than 11,000 tons. 11,000 tons! And still counting. That is more than their impact from all previous years combined. This year, they optimized their operations with System 03 in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. They made it increasingly efficient and reliable and safe for marine life as a result, and managed a total of 112 extractions. Based on System 03's latest performance, they declared in September that the cleanup of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is both achievable and affordable at a cost of $7.5 billion. That's less than the U.S. spends on Halloween decorations each year. This is a number that seems big, but in context is small. Meanwhile, they prevented more trash from entering the oceans in the first place by improving the performance of existing river interceptors and deployed new ones in Bangkok, kicking off the first phase of a multi-year initiative to clean the Chao Phraya, and reduce plastic pollution in the Gulf of Thailand. Sorry, head cold. In Jamaica, they used data gathered from their first 7 deployments to expand their network of interceptors, and in October they installed Interceptor 15 into Sandy Gully, the largest gully in Kingston. In Guatemala, at the mouth of the Rio Montagu, or Rio Matagu, I'm not quite sure what that one is, but I'll have to look it up on a map later. They launched Interceptor 21, the largest interceptor to date. This massive barrier is now acting as the last line of defense for the Gulf of Honduras, home to the second largest coral reef in the world, mind you. The band Coldplay used some of the Guatemala plastic to manufacture their newest limited edition record, Moon Music. Kia turned some of their ocean catch into the world's first car product made with plastic from the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, the limited edition EV3 trunk liner. So that is a huge thing with ocean cleanup. The ocean cleanup. That company is something to follow. Unbelievable leader, creator, engineer, young man, very young person working on this problem, basically saying that the buck stops here, and moving forward with cleaning up the waters of the world. So to Ed for initially sending in that article way back in July, and to the Ocean Cleanup for continuing its efforts. Cheers. Won't say Nick likes his cookies. Oops. I opened up the wrong thing. There we go. Okay. Next one was another one that Eliza sent in back on, it's listed for January 1st. I called it Plastic Makes Progress. And it had to do with Detroit's wireless charging roads. Detroit, Michigan celebrated a major milestone in the future of vehicle electrification as crews finished installing the nation's first wireless charging public roadway in November of 2023. Using technology from Electrion, 14th Street was equipped with inductive charging coils that can charge electric vehicles, or EVs, that are equipped with receivers as they drive on the road. The update that we have from that article is that the Michigan Department of Transportation, or MDOT, is taking bids to expand the network of wireless charging. Expanding out from that project, the state of Michigan announced a new partnership with Electrion, a worldwide leader in wireless EV charging, and commercial electric vehicle manufacturer Zos Inc., to operate wireless charging solutions for electrified commercial delivery vehicles in Michigan. With this commercial partnership, Electrion is set to extend the company's wireless EV charging network and use cases in Michigan. In partnership with Zos, Electrion's wireless charging technology will be integrated into a Zos step van, demonstrating wireless charging technological value and its potential to lower the total cost of ownership in the electrification of commercial truck fleets. That's really cool. The project also includes new installations of stationary wireless charging at a UPS facility in Detroit, facilitating cable-free stationary overnight charging suited to the dense operational area of the depot. Together, Electrion, UPS, and Zos aim to show a unique approach to commercial EV charging, including both stationary and dynamic wireless charging, which eliminates operational interruptions and charging downtime. This solution can also offer extended vehicle ranges capabilities without the need for expensive electric grid updates or purchasing larger vehicle batteries, thereby mitigating major hurdles in the transition to electric fleets. That is really cool. Hey, Sean. Calling me out. I still live. My hours still suck, though. Sorry to hear that, Sean. Snacking on the news. Sean, Julie made me cookies. I'm going to snack on the news. When I don't start at 5 a.m., I'll be better able to harass Nick. Understandable, Sarah. Thank you, though, for tuning in. To Eliza for sending us that original article, and to MDOT the state of Michigan, ZOS, UPS, and Electrion for continuing to work on new solutions for powering EVs or charging EVs. Cheers. So that gets us out of follow-up science and technology. We're going to get into follow-up health and medicine. Now, we've only got one follow-up article here. There's a lot of good health and medicine news this year, but the follow-ups are scarce because a lot of it that was going into testing or trials are going to take years to review the data. So we're not really going to have good news on that until 2025, 2026. Did anybody else see that moth that just came flying by me? Where'd that go? I might have to hunt that down later. So we're going to be waiting on the health and medicine follow-ups, but we have one. And this one was originally sent to us by Cassidy, and we showed that on our January 28th episode. We called it Malaria Exit Stage Left. And so for our follow-up, for our January 28th episode, Cassidy sent us this article about Cape Verde, which was being declared malaria-free by the World Health Organization. The update that we have is that Egypt was added to the list of malaria-free African countries in October, joining Mauritius, Lesotho, Algeria, and Cape Verde. So now, multiple countries have been able to eliminate malaria. And that is absolutely fantastic follow-up news. So to Cassidy for sending in the article originally, and to the World Health Organization and these individual countries and their work to eliminate malaria, cheers. They're not snickerdoodles, Tim, they're knickerdoodles. And they are good. I won't be a savage and dunk my cookie in the beer, but Lord knows I would. Oops. Let me move this over. Oh no, Sean in the Facebook chat is hurt that Julie didn't bake for him. Okay. While they argue over there, we're going to get into, we're going to leave health and medicine, and we're going to jump into category 3, follow-up flora and fauna, aka follow-up plants and animals. This first one was an article that Cassidy sent in for our February 25th episode we called Squawk All About It, and it was about orange-bellied parrots. Orange-bellied parrots. Yes, those. Back then, only 3 wild female orange-bellied parrots of the genus Neophema chrysogaster returned from their annual migration to the Australian mainland in 2016. The species was almost declared functionally extinct despite decades of dedicated breeding programs and research into the colorful bird's conservation. Volunteers have been crucial to helping researchers figure out how to aid these difficult birds that have seemed stubbornly set on becoming extinct. For years, releasing captive-bred birds mysteriously failed to effectively boost the species' numbers in the wild. Most youngsters had not survived the journey between their summer breeding grounds in Melaleuca, Tasmania, and their warm winter foraging sites on the southern coastal salt marshes of mainland Australia. Presently, there were no known mitigation options for reducing mortality rates other than optimizing the body condition of the nestlings. So, for now, these precious feathered jewels are being provided with supplementary feeding. The chat is definitely lit up about those cookies. Our update that we have to this is that the orange-bellied parrots began their southern migration in October. As of early December, volunteers so far counted 88 orange-bellied parrots that have returned from Melaleuca to court and nest, including 60 wild-born and 28 captive-bred birds. There are high hopes for this year's breeding season following last year's record-breaking 74 fledglings from 33 nest boxes, the highest number and proportions of nests recorded in the wild since monitoring began in 1993. In preparation for the breeding season, Tasmanian government's orange-bellied parrot program installed nest boxes in Melaleuca and surrounding areas. In October, 2 cohorts of captive-bred birds were released into the wild to help boost their breeding population, and staff at the Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Tasmania Wildlife Management Facility welcomed the first eggs of the season. So far, the captive breeding team have reported 15 nestlings this season. All in all, it's promising news for one of the world's rarest birds. Sean, you have a good night, sir. Don't mind us from Eliza just Festivus over Julie's cooking. And more babies! So yes, the orange-bellied parrot is managing to survive, thanks to incredible conservation efforts being put forth by Tasmania's government and the orange-bellied parrot program. So to Cassidy for originally sending us that article, and to everybody in Tasmania government's orange-bellied parrot program for trying to keep this small feathered jewel alive despite its best efforts, cheers. Hello, Charlie, in the Facebook chat. I will have to have a gathering, and Julie will be on cookie duty. Expect a gathering at some point. Okay. This next one is a great one. This is one for the ages. So, back on our May 12th episode, we had an article that I called You're Never Too Old to Strut. And it was about Wisdom the albatross. The world's oldest bird may have lost her mate, but she's now courting new suitors in her 70s. The Laysan albatross named Wisdom was photographed dancing with potential mates on Midway Atoll National Wildlife Refuge, the seabird's home. Her longtime mate, Akia Kamai, has yet to be seen and was absent the last 2 nesting seasons. But Wisdom was spotted in the spring socializing with other male birds. Biologists first identified and banded Wisdom in 1956 after she had laid an egg. They aren't known to breed before the age of 5. So that's the extrapolation of the bird's age. She's in her 70s. I'm going to have to take small sips to conserve this beer. So here's our update. Wisdom did it again. Wisdom, the world's oldest known wild bird, is back with a new partner, and she just laid an egg. At an approximate age of 74, the queen of seabirds returned to Midway Atoll National Wildlife Refuge at the northwestern edge of the Hawaiian archipelago last week and immediately began interacting with a male. Like other Laysan albatross, Wisdom returns to the same nesting site each year to reunite with her mate and, if able, lay 1 egg. For decades, she did this with the same partner, Akia Kamai. But that bird has not been seen for several years, causing Wisdom to begin courtship dances with other males. Jonathan Pleisner, a supervisory wildlife biologist at Midway Atoll National Wildlife Refuge, called Wisdom's first egg in 4 years a special joy, and said recent activity seems to indicate she still has the energy and instincts for raising another chick. We are optimistic that the egg will hatch, wrote Plisner from the remote refuge, noting that her new mate seems to be quite content on the nest during his long incubation shift. The ageless Wisdom can be seen in photos and videos with her well-known band number Z333. Her new mate was banded last Friday for future identification. Each year, millions of seabirds return to Midway Atoll National Wildlife Refuge in the Pacific Ocean to nest and raise their young. Wisdom, specifically, has been doing this since the Eisenhower administration. This bird is a cougar, and she has another kid on the way. So, wow. To Wisdom, the world's oldest seabird, the queen of the seabirds, her new mate, and her new potential baby. Cheers. Oh, the cookie is good. The beer is good. Ho, ho, ho. Okay. So this next one is a double header. Back in the March 31st episode and the July 7th episode, we had Eliza and Julie respectively send us in articles that we called Cats Do Indeed Get Stuck in Trees and Obligatory Cat Article 2. This is about Steve Murrow and Tesla Tree Service. Producer Donna got in touch with Steve Murrow and Tesla Tree Service for our follow-up to get information on how they've been doing and their services, and it's absolutely, I can't thank her enough. Producer Donna, you are amazing. So we've got Steve to the rescue. We initially shared this story about Steve Murrow, a New Jersey professional tree trimmer that has added rescuing cats stuck in trees to his list of services. As of the March 31st episode, Steve had rescued a little over 100 cats throughout the years, all for free. I do this because it's the right thing to do, and if my story can inspire others to just be good, be kind in any way, or be kind in any kind of way, whether that's adopting from their local shelter or donating to their shelter or just holding the door for somebody, then I've done my job, Murrow said. The update that we've got. So we reached out to Tesla Tree Service, producer Donna reached out to Tesla Tree Service, and we're excited to report that Steve has rescued 46 cats in 2024 alone, and expects at least one more by the end of the year. His typical coverage area is within an hour away of where he's located, but he has traveled up to 2 hours a few times this year to rescue cats. It all depends on the circumstances. This year he received the PETA Compassionate Action Award for his services. That is fantastic. Merry Christmas, Tim. Have a happy happy holiday, sir. And thank you for tuning in. So, to Eliza and Julie for sending in both of those respective articles about Steve Murrow and Tesla Tree Service, and to Steve himself and all that he does. Cheers. Producer Donna in YouTube chat, Steve is really nice. Everything, like when we were talking about him, and the email that he sent, this is a great guy who's doing great things, so check him out. This next one was from our June 23rd episode of this year, and it was a Not All Heroes Wear Capes episode, and it was the article about Brandon Garrett's dog. Producer Donna had to do a lot of digging on this one to get more info on it, so it was really cool. Not all heroes wear capes or clothes. Earlier this year, we shared an article about Brandon Garrett's dog that ran 4 miles to get help for Garrett when he failed to navigate a turn in the Oregon mountains and ended up turned over in a ravine. At the time of the report, Good News Network didn't have much information, including the dog's name. The update that we've got, with a bit of digging, we found the dog's name is Blue. He's a fierce whippet who ran almost 6 kilometers, or 4 miles, to a family's campsite. Blue arrived with shards of glass in his snout, immediately letting the family know something was wrong. Friends and family launched a search that night, but did not discover the truck until the next morning. Police, search and rescue, and firefighters arrived on the scene, cleared a path to the truck, and used a high-line rope system to get Garrett and his 3 injured dogs out of the ravine. We are happy to report that all 4 dogs and Brandon Garrett have healed completely. To Blue, the fierce whippet, who ran 4 miles to get help for his owner and the other 3 dogs that were trapped in that truck. Cheers. Ooh. This next one was an obligatory cat article. It was sent in by Julie and debuted on our August 4th episode of this year. This one was the SB Mowing / Edgar and Ivy article. It's really funny, as producer Donna was going through some of these with me, it was like just neuron activation of these articles when we had them, and I'm so happy like that she found so many good follow-ups. So here we go. So you may have seen Spencer from SB Mowing. He finds overgrown lawns and properties around the country, and he cleans them up for free for those who may not be able to do it for themselves. A few years ago, Spencer decided to start documenting the properties he cleaned, and he makes videos and posts them on social media. While filming himself mowing a lawn in Corpus Christi one week, Spencer came across an injured cat. He called multiple shelters and rescues. Edgar and Ivy's cat sanctuary was the only place that could help. The director of Edgar and Ivy's, Anissa Beal, said the cat showed up in rough shape. Staff at the cat sanctuary cared for the cat, who Spencer later named SB. Grateful for their work, Spencer decided to start a GoFundMe to help the shelter. He said, "Maybe I can get you $10,000 or something." It would have been life-changing because Beal was on the verge of closing the sanctuary. Spencer posted the video to his platforms linking to the GoFundMe that he made, and in less than a week, his followers had raised $140,000 for the sanctuary. The number continued to grow, and that's not all. Just a day after the video was posted, four Amazon trucks loaded with donations also showed up to Edgar and Ivy's. After totaling the donations made on the GoFundMe and those made on the sanctuary's website, the number of donations adds up to close to $180,000. So he said, "I'm going to try to get you the money to not have to close, $10,000. And when we had that article, they raised $180,000. The update we have, as of today, SB Mowing fans have raised $201,931 for Edgar and Ivy for a cat sanctuary. An unbelievable amount of money raised by the kindness of people to keep a cat sanctuary open and keep the animals well cared for while they're there. Unbelievable. To Julie for sending in that article, to Spencer from SB Mowing for the job you do and the care you show, and to Edgar and Ivy for the care you provide for our feline friends. Cheers. Bless kind people. Thank you for that, Eliza, in the Facebook chat. I'm gonna get fat on cookies. Nope, that's not it. Hold up. Wait a minute. Gotta find all my articles again. These big monitors, it's so hard to find things now. This last one was an article that we had on our October 13th episode, and I called it Those Damn Fish. And it was about the Klamath Dam removal. I go to the gym enough to not stress about the cookies. Thank you, producer Donna. So, together, Copco number 1, Copco number 2, J.C. Boyle, and the Iron Gate dams that blocked fish passage and impaired water quality for more than a century. All 4 were hydroelectric dams that did not provide irrigation or drinking water and were not operated for flood control. Following decades of advocacy, led by area tribes and supported by conservation advocates, commercial fishing organizations, and the state of California and Oregon, federal regulators approved the removal of the dams back in November of 2022. Ownership of the project was then transferred to the Klamath River Renewal Corporation, or the KRRC, which was the organization that was created to oversee the removal of the dams and related restoration of the previously submerged lands. Copco number 2, the smallest dam, was removed in the summer of 2023, and in January of 2024, Copco number 1, J.C. Boyle, and the Iron Gates reservoirs were drained, and deconstruction began on those in the spring. Massive amounts of concrete, earth, rock, and clay were removed from the river channel as part of the dam removal process. And with these obstructions now cleared from the mainstream river, fish once again had access to more than 400 stream miles, including tributary creeks and streams of habitat in the upper Klamath Basin. The update that we have is just over 2 weeks after that, a crew spotted a pair of salmon spawning in one of the tributaries above Iron Gate, where the fish had not previously been seen or had previously not been able to reach. So something to think about with migratory fish like salmon and trout and steelhead and all sorts of other fish that like to go from large bodies of water and swim up rivers and tributaries. They go to spawn where they instinctively know they came from. These salmon haven't been spotted in this reservoir since all these dams went in. 2 weeks after it was all done and everything was ripped out, the salmon are back. They knew where to go. On October 16th, biologists spied a fall Chinook salmon at the mouth of the tributary in Oregon. The spot, 230 miles from the ocean, is above all 4 of the former dam sites. So this was an area where these fish had never been able to get to. But they instinctively can get there. They know to get there now because it's open. The speed of the salmon's return has astonished even the most seasoned biologists. There have been lower concentrations of harmful algae blooms since the dam removal, and in October the water temperature during the day was an average of 14 degrees Fahrenheit, or 8 degrees Celsius, cooler compared to the same month over the last 9 years, according to the Klamath River Renewal Corporation, the nonprofit entity created to oversee the project. The fish that came up this year are healthy, with no bacterial infections that warmer water can cause. Producer Donna in the Facebook chat, it's been over 100 years since the salmon could spawn up where they needed to be, and the moment those dams were out, they were there. The number of salmon that have quickly made it into previously inaccessible tributaries has also been encouraging. Experts have counted 42 reds, or salmon egg nests, and have tallied as many as 115 Chinook salmon in one day in Spencer Creek, which is above the former J.C. Boyle Dam, the furthest upstream of the 4 removed dams, said Mark Hereford with the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. They're showing us where the good habitat is. They're showing us where there's a lack of habitat, said Barry McCovey Jr., the director of the Yurok Tribal Fisheries Department. So we can use these fish to inform us as river managers, as scientists, where restoration needs to take place. That is awesome. Yes, Mona in the YouTube chat, that is amazing. To everybody involved with the KRRC, with getting these dams removed and this habitat restored, and all of these fish returning. Cheers. Producer Donna, you're never going to teach me how to pronounce Klamath or Klamath. I'm going to get it wrong every time. Oh, cookie. Sorry, I thought I heard Sue clacking about in there. Muth on the end, so it's like Klamath. Okay. All right, so that is going to get us out of follow-up science and follow-up flora and fauna, aka follow-up plants and animals, and we're going to go into follow-up wholesome notes. Hold on to your hearts, folks. Back in our January 28th episode, we did a Raise a Glass episode. Now, what those are is a beer-oriented article. I tagged those articles with that title. And this one was about Weatherspoons, the game. Oh, has Sue been visible? Sue's been scuttling around. Has he been visible back there? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm happy that the camera can pick him up and that he's like a little monster now in the episodes. And going forward, he'll be visible I'll have to do like a follow-up where I show him off, where I like take a video of him, especially if he's ready to molt. I'll definitely have to get a video of when he's bigger. Off and on, he's been walking across the log. Okay, so he's been walking across the hide. So normally he, sometimes he chills out right inside this hide, but yeah, he loves walking up and down this one, so. Alright, so we featured an article about the creation of the Weatherspoons game, where you can log in and you can buy a beer for others, or a drink for others. It started out as a closed group of friends, but it soon went public and grew to 500,000 different members. The way that the Weatherspoons game works is that people post a photograph of themselves, their ID card, and their location and table number, along with an explanation of why someone should buy them a drink. A group of dedicated volunteer moderators then check the ID and approve only the polite and good-natured posts to the wall, where anyone can check the feed and decide to send them a drink. Today's update has them at 760. Oh, so here's the update. Today, we have their update as 763,000 members, and they've branched out to hosting legendary monthly events feeding the homeless all over the UK, and they paired with billychip.com, where people can purchase chips from local stores and restaurants and hand them out to people that are having a rough go. The chips can be redeemed for hot food, drinks, necessities, and even dog food. So whatever these people may need when they're down on their luck, you can go out and you can purchase these chips to give to these people, and these people can use them to redeem them for comforts to help them in their trying times. Can you imagine that a drinking game evolved into feeding the homeless with 763,000 members and pairing with major organizations to help those in need? A drinking game. What a wonderful world we live in, where things like that are possible. From Gabby, that's one hell of a drinking game in the YouTube chat. Gabby, yes it is. So to everybody involved with the Weatherspoons game, and just going above and beyond, cheers. I might have needed to grab 2 cookies. So back on our May 12th episode, we had an article that I called Turning Over a New Page, and it was about Storybook Maze. 3 years ago, Araba Maze was reading a book to her niece on the front stoop of her Baltimore home. But as the pages turned, the number of local children gathered around for stoop story time increased until Maze had to take notice. When she had finished reading to them, they asked her to read another. "Go home and read," she said. "We don't have any books," they replied. Little did she know, those fateful minutes of reading time launched Maze's career as a librarian and influencer who champions a cause of getting books into the hands of urban children with no access to libraries. Now known as Storybook Maze, she started work at the nearest library. Using her training, she began to curate collections of the books and get them into the hands of children using 3 creative methods. The first is a free book vending machine. Using her extreme popularity on platforms like Instagram and TikTok, she gathered funds to install a book vending machine for kids on the street back in 2023. Through her efforts in opening pop-up bookstores, she distributed over 7,000 books to children. Throughout the process, she routinely hosted more stoop story times where she would read to children throughout the city, driving publicity through her social media channels. Now, Storybook Maze is attempting her largest, or at the time, she was attempting her largest project yet, which was a book trolley. With the goal of raising $100,000 on GoFundMe, she hoped to have a colorful children's train that will toot its way through the book deserts of Baltimore, providing as many books as it can fit in the carriage cars. Here's our update. Phase 1 has been completed, which included the purchasing of the trolley, getting it shipped, storage, insurance, titled, and taxed. Phase 2 has been completed, which included renovations, repairs, bookshelves, and tires. On to the final phase. Phase 3 includes raising funds for a driver with a commercial driver's license. We've included the link to the GoFundMe if you want to help. It's in the description of the YouTube and the Facebook video. We've also included links to her TED Talk, her Instagram, and her Facebook page. So they got the trolley. They've got the trolley fixed up. Now they need the driver. The importance of reading and getting books into children's hands to be able to read is something you can't put a price tag on. So to Storybook Maze, to Araba Maze, and all the work she's doing, and everyone that has supported her along this path, cheers. Eliza in the Facebook chat, I'm not crying, Eliza is a librarian, so I'm sure that one touches close to home. Back in our May 28th episode, we had a Not All Heroes Wear Capes article about John Stikovich. This was one about a burning house. On May 28th, we featured an article about John Stikovich, a Cleveland man who was on his way to work. He stopped in front of a house that was consumed in fire and smoke, but the fire engines hadn't arrived yet. The homeowner was in the front lawn with one baby and told John, "My baby is still in the house." John entered the burning house 3 times, trying to find baby Opal. He had just given up when he heard her cry out. He grabbed her and crawled back outside. He was treated for smoke inhalation and released the same day. The update that we have is the week after that, John was reunited with the firefighters that arrived on the scene and the grateful family of baby Opal. He has since been awarded the Carnegie Medal. The Carnegie Hero Fund awards the Carnegie Medal to individuals in the United States and Canada who risk death or serious physical injury to an extraordinary degree, saving or attempting to save the lives of others. I can't think of a better person it could have gone to in that situation. So, to John Stikovich, who went into a burning house 3 times to rescue a baby. Cheers, sir. This next one was another Not All Heroes Wear Capes article that we had on our August 25th episode. And this is about Raheem Cooper, the UPS driver. On August 12th, UPS driver Raheem Cooper was... Sorry, head cold. Okay. On August 12th, UPS driver Raheem Cooper was making his usual deliveries when he noticed a woman lying motionless in her driveway. Groceries scattered around her under the blistering 102-degree sun. He quickly jumped off his truck and, after checking to see if anyone else was home, called 911. While waiting for the ambulance to arrive, Cooper began rendering aid to the woman, who had taken a severe fall and was in critical condition. Within 5 to 6 minutes, paramedics arrived and took over, rushing her to the hospital. The heat and the unknown duration she had been lying there made the situation even more dire. Cooper's swift response undoubtedly saved her life. Once Mrs. Coble was rushed to the hospital, the doctors discovered she had a brain bleed known as a subdural hematoma from falling on the pavement. She was recovering pretty well at first, but it changed drastically, and she was rushed to the emergency to have emergency brain surgery on August 21st. The family reached out to Cooper to thank him, and since the incident, Cooper had stayed in contact with Cobal's family and visited her in the hospital weekly to bring her her favorite snack, Twinkies. Cooper started a GoFundMe to help the family with travel and Cobal's increasing medical expenses. The update that we have is that in October, the family released an update saying that Granny Marie is making a good recovery. She is currently still in rehab in Homersville, Georgia, and is ready to get out and go to her own home. She still has a little bit of work to do getting stronger. As for today, the GoFundMe has raised $11,300 of a $15,000 goal. And we have included links in the YouTube and the Facebook descriptions for the GoFundMe if you would like to assist with the helping the Cobal's family in this trying time. But yeah, a woman saved by the acts of this man. Raheem Cooper, a UPS driver who went above and beyond to save the life of an elderly woman. Cheers, sir. This last one is going to be this one was funny back when we debuted it, and it's going to be funny again, but it's a really good one to end on. This is our last one of the night. Back in our September 8th episode, we had Not All Heroes Wear Capes or Shirts, and this was about the Firefighter and Puppies calendar. The respected first responders of Colorado's fire departments are skilled at saving lives and combating wildfires, but once a year they approach things a bit differently by turning up the heat. The annual Fire Rescue Dogs calendar, created by a number of Denver Metro firefighters, features 18 male firefighters who have stepped out of their protective gear to model alongside very special guests. Adoptable puppies. Calendars sell like hotcakes at $20 a pop, all benefiting Lifeline Puppy Rescue, a no-kill shelter based in the Rocky Mountain region. It's our biggest fundraiser for Lifeline Puppy Rescue. Amy Vanderbrook, the calendar's project manager, told 9 News Denver. It's raised over $950,000 over the past 10 years. Our goal this year is to raise another $200,000. Calendar sales help the rescue pay for essential procedures like spaying and neutering, microchipping, medical cares, and most recently, the construction of a larger facility. One calendar sold equals one puppy saved. While the models are local to Colorado, the annual calendar has seen worldwide success and has enabled the project to grow in the last decade. The calendar features intentionally sexy photos as the firefighters go topless to complement their other uniform accessories like hats, hoses, trucks, and even underwear, that reads #SavePuppies on the elastic waistband. Darling puppies also grace the pages as bursts of water, smoke, and contained fire dance in the background. Beyond the calendar, the firefighters also use the images to share social media reminders for pet safety tips, especially during the hottest months of summer. Producer Donna reached out to Fire Rescue Dogs, and she reached out to them for an update, and here's what Amy, the project manager, told us. Hi, Nick's News. Thanks so much for reaching out and for featuring our calendar on your show. As of right now, we're at $140,000 towards reaching our goal for the year. Being that there is only 10 more days left, I have a feeling we won't reach that goal of $200,000 that we were originally hoping for, but we are still very happy with what we've accomplished this year. Some other great news: over the course of the 10 years that we've been producing the calendar, we did hit over $1 million raised, so that's pretty fantastic. A portion of the funds raised will also go towards our new kennel facility, which we broke ground on during this past summer. This will allow us to save even more puppies throughout the year, especially during the winter months when we are limited to using only indoor space in order to keep the puppies safe and warm. We have links for the calendar for lifetimepuppies.org and for the Fire Rescue Dogs site in the descriptions of our Facebook and YouTube videos. to to project manager Amy Vanderbrook, and to the firefighters of the annual Fire Rescue Dogs calendar. For everything you do, cheers. That is awesome. You all should hit up their Instagram, just saying, says producer Donna in the Facebook chat. So that is 15 follow-ups, articles that we had throughout this last year that we found follow-up information on and wanted to present to you to show that the good news doesn't stop just when the article's presented. The good news keeps coming. And that's exactly what we love. So thank you all so much. Gosh. I'm just all over the place. I'm so happy with all of this. And there was a lot to go through. This is going to be a thing yearly. The second to last episode every year is going to be a follow-up episode. We're going to go through and find how that good news has kept going to show that, it doesn't just stop the day we talk about it. It keeps going behind the scenes because it's not behind the scenes for others. So just great stuff. Thank you all again for tuning in or catching the replay on the Nick's News Facebook page and the YouTube page. We're live every Sunday, and our final episode of 2024 is going to be on December 29th. That is going to be a very special episode. It's going to be a year-in review episode. We are going to talk about how things have gone the last year with Nick's News. We're actually going to go even further back. I started doing some digging, and I started looking at when Nick's News started. And it surprised me how long ago that was. It also was a reminder of why I started it and how it's changed over the years to become what we have today. Because its initial iteration was not this. And I want to talk about that kind of stuff with all of you. So our year-in review is going to be the past, the present, and the future of Nick's News and what we're going to get into in 2025. So I encourage you all to tune in for that one. It's going to be very discussion heavy. I love chatting with everybody, especially in our chats for YouTube and Facebook. Glaive in the YouTube chat. This is cool. I'm currently working on a large dog training facility for veterans in my city. It's all new construction and should be finished in 2026. Glaive, that's awesome. I'm not a high up or anything, just a subcontractor, but can hopefully help get you some info. We would appreciate that. Producer Don is already on it. I would love for us to be able to talk about that on a future episode. So by all means, that's what this will be. Eliza in the Facebook chat, will Marley's ghost be there? Or Marley and Marley. Oh, I love Muppets. No, they won't be on that episode, but it should be a good one. So, again, we're live every Sunday. Year-in review will be on December 29th. I encourage participation as always, so if you feel inclined, you can post suggestions for news brews, for shout-outs, for news quotes, and especially good news articles that we can present on future episodes. If possible, I appreciate a variety of articles spread out across our categories, and again, those main categories are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and wholesome notes, the articles that we really like to end on. So you can either message us on Facebook. If you do, please use the Nick's News Facebook Messenger, not my personal one, or you can email us at somebudgetstudios@gmail.com. Feel free to like, subscribe, or comment on our Facebook and YouTube videos to get good news and joy into the algorithm. We're still trying to figure it all out. I'm never going to tell you to do anything, but I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all for the likes, the comments, and the subscriptions and the follows on the YouTube and the Facebook videos. It's crazy how much Nick's News has blown up in just this last year, and going forward, I want to keep that going. The bigger we get, the more good news we get out there. So thank you all so much. As always, thank you again. I love you all. Happy holidays. Have a great night. And I will play us out.